Welcome back. I'm joined now by Caitlyn Cooper with Connect Georgia. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, one of the things you want to talk about recently, we've talked about TSPOS a lot,
Yes.
the Transportation Special Local Option Sales Tax, if I said that correctly.
That's it.
And it's a 1-cent sales tax, and we want to talk about exactly how much that would add up for Georgia and why it's even on the ballot.
Right. What's so great is that it's awesome to be a Georgian right now, because on July 31st, we get to go and vote for a regional tax. It's not considered a statewide tax. The state is divided up into 12 regions. It will bring $19 billion to Georgia, $530 million to our region, which is a 14-county region right here in southwest Georgia. So it's huge. But this vote is not just about money at the end of the day. This vote is about 3 important things. 1 is safety, 2 is local control, and 3 is more jobs and economic development, which is so important to people in southwest Georgia.
Now, one thing you just mentioned was that the entire state is broken up into different districts.
Right.
We know that the local impact will be huge if it's passed. However, is there a plan to make sure that all the plans are cohesive so that ours isn't disconnected from the counties beside us?
So how this will work is some regions will pass it and some will not. I work for the campaign that's working on 11 of the 12 regions. Metro Atlanta has their own. So some will pass it and some won't. And it's an incentive to pass it because, you know, infrastructure and transportation is so important to industries and bringing industries to Georgia and bringing them to southwest Georgia. So we feel it's important. There is a plan in place if some regions don't pass it, because obviously roads connect us from county to county and region to region. So there is a plan in place.
Now, briefly, what kind of improvements are we talking about? Is it just roads, or is it interstates, small roads? What are we talking about here?
It's unpaved roads, paved roads, surfacing, widening. I'll tell you a big one that, you know, people have been talking about in Albany and southwest Georgia since before we were born, and that's Highway 133. That is so important and vital for southwest Georgia as well as southern Georgia, and it will be widening 133 starting here. So that's one big project on the list, and there are other great projects, Clark Avenue Extension and some other great projects on the list.
Great. Well, we have a lot more to dig into, a little bit more in depth right after the break, so stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm joined by Caitlyn Cooper. We are talking about Connect Georgia and the upcoming TSPOS vote. It is 1 cent. However, it will lead to big changes if it's passed. Now, we just talked about what kinds of projects it will end off with. A lot of people might be thinking, if we voted in, all of our money is going to go to Atlanta. Is that true?
No, that is not true. This is a great time in the history of Georgia that we get to tell Atlanta we're going to vote something different. And every penny that is raised in this region will stay in this region, and they will go to the projects and the 25% money, which will bring me to how the money is divided up.
Perfect.
75% of the money that's raised, of the $530 million, will go to regional projects. And those projects were determined by regional roundtable, made up of a mayor from each county and then a county commissioner, county commission chair. So those folks met, and they, you know, had town hall meetings and met with constituents in their county and decided about the regional projects. The 25%, which I believe is so important for southwest Georgia and rural Georgia, is it's the discretionary money. So 25% of the funds will come back to the county, and the county and cities get to decide what to do with that money.
So this truly is an effort where local opinions and things that local people want will be heard, and it won't just be swept under the rug.
Absolutely. This is a bottom up. You know, this started at the very bottom and then went up. You know, our people decided these great projects, so I think that's so important to note.
One question I have is, we know that people are giving their input, but who actually decides which roads are getting paved and which projects get done and which ones get priority?
Right. So when the regional roundtable met, they decided those projects, and those were long meetings because everybody came to the table wanting their, obviously, their roads, which makes sense. And roads connect us to other things, and I think that's what's so great about this. This is a true regional opportunity for not only for Georgia, but for southwest Georgia to connect us to other roads, to bring industries down here, which we greatly need, and to bring more jobs. 14,000 jobs will be brought to southwest Georgia if this passes. So it's vital that we pass this, not only to connect our roads to make them safe, but for the economic development it will bring.
Let's elaborate on that a little bit, because a lot of people might think, well, it's just going to bring construction worker jobs and then that's it. How important is it to improve our roads in order to bring business and industry to southwest Georgia?
Absolutely. For every $1 billion spent in highways and transportation. 27,000 jobs will come to the area. And some of those are construction jobs, obviously, because somebody's got to build the roads.
Exactly.
But it's also the indirect folks that come. So it's industries that are coming from various areas, looking at Georgia thinking, should I put my industry in Georgia? What does their infrastructure look like, and what do their roads look like?
Now, if this, for whatever reason, does not pass, what does that mean for Southwest Georgia?
You know, that's a question that I get every day, and we don't know. You know, we need to pass this because right now the dollars are shrinking, and it's time that we take matters into our own hands and let people vote for this. You know, we have a motor fuel tax in Georgia, which it's the second lowest in the United States of America. And to bring this kind of money to Georgia, we would have to raise that by 27%. So when people are driving more fuel efficient cars like myself, you know, we're not bringing any more money in, so the revenues are going down. So we've got to find another way to fund transportation, and this is the answer. You know, we don't know what the legislature will do if it doesn't pass in any region, but we sure hope it does.
Now, there are certainly a lot more things we could go into. We don't have that much more time yet, but if someone wants more information, where should they go?
Go to our website. It's connectgeorgia2012.com. We have all the info on there. They can also click the materials tab and see all of our documents. They can see all the money that's coming in and all the projects, which is so important because at the end of the day, we want to know what roads we're driving on that are going to get better.
All right, so if you want more information, they are on the web. There's also the opportunity to donate.
There is.
Tell me why.
To run any campaign, just like President Obama is out there running a campaign and raising money, we have to raise money to run this campaign. And we are just getting the word out there. There's a lot of misinformation in Georgia about this. There are folks putting this out, and we believe that we've just got to get the right message out there because an informed voter is a yes voter.
All right, so you heard it, guys. Connect Georgia, improving transportation, which will lead to improvements in the economy, more jobs. If you want information, again, what's the website?
ConnectGeorgia2012.com.
All right, check it out. Get yourself informed. That way, when you go to the polls this summer, you are an informed voter, whichever way you choose to vote. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Romney.
Appreciate it.
Great to be here.